you.
By the way, I don't give a rat's ass that you're recording and I've got school gear on. I don't care anymore.
I can always put a 2.
You can put a giant penis.
One.
Put a giant penis over the logo on my hat. Yeah.
And welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of the Wasted Wagons podcast. We got Pat with us, Sean with us, Todd with us, Mike with us, Russell with us, and myself, I'm Travis. And we got a lot to talk about today. Mike actually has a whole game plan of things he would like to discuss. But we're going to start off with talking about the recent holiday that passed, and we're going to talk about Halloween. We just got finished up with a couple of parties. One at my house celebrating Heather's 40th birthday. Another one here, we went and trick-or-treated with the kids over here at Mike's house. But Mike, where would you like to start with this conversation? You seem to have an interesting night, especially at Heather's party on Saturday.
So I want to start off by saying it was a lovely party. Very, very lovely. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
It was God.
It was God.
I had a good time. Some might say a little too good of a time.
What did I miss out on?
Yeah.
That's
what happens when you're undefeated at beer pong.
I hadn't left already?
So I started off drinking liquor.
You stayed later than
Oh,
Yeah. I started off drinking liquor, then the beer, then the shots, then the eggnog, and it kind of all went spiraling down.
A downward spiral.
A downward spiral.
Circle in the drain.
So the end of the night, I went home. I don't recall much. I mean, I do recall, but it was kind of foggy. All right. So a day later, I'm around, morning. Like I felt like shit, hungover, everything else. Well, I got something to do that evening. So I get dressed, get all my things, get my wallet, my keys, and I go to my nightstand to go get my watch, and the watch is gone. And I'm like, where the hell is my watch?
Mysteries.
Well, it's an Apple Watch, so you could find my or whatever, and it's dead. But the last location was at Travis's house.
Uh-oh.
So I asked Travis, I said, Travis, is there any way, the next day, the following day, so this was 2 days after, I asked him, I said, hey man, if you don't mind, can you check around, see if you see my watch anywhere? And he's like, well, where do you think it might be? I said, well, there's a strong possibility it might be by your neighbor's house across the street. Because I was rolling around in his grass for a brief while there.
It's a funny story. When Mike texted me, I was at a doctor's appointment, 8 a.m. doctor's appointment, and then I said, all right, man, I probably got. If I leave here early enough, I'll probably have a little bit of time before I have to go back to work that I could go home and look for it. And of course, I get up, park my car, get out, start walking around that. The area around where, the carport area where Heather parks and I park, that was where the majority of the parties took place. And I remembered as soon as our friend Sam got to the party, he said, hey, y'all might want to check on the guy across the street. Looks like he's not doing well. And then we're like, who the hell's across the street? And we look over there, and Mike is laying in the grass across the street. So then I said, okay, that's where we saw him, laying on the ground. Let me go check there. Well, sure enough, it's sitting there right at the edge of where the grass meets my neighbor across the street's driveway, and it looks like it was in pretty rough shape. The screen protector had fallen off and was all scraped up. The watch band was broken.
I sent y'all a picture. I'm not sure if y'all got it or not.
Yeah, I got it.
But pretty rough shape. But overall, the actual physical face of the watch was okay. I ordered a new band and a new little case for it on Amazon the very next day, so we're good again. But back to Mike's shenanigans.
This is when Sam got to the party.
It was like, wait, as Sam was walking up.
That seems kind of early though, right? You were already rolling around in the grass.
It wasn't the very end when Mike was rolling around in the
this
grass.
at all.
It was not the very end when Mike was rolling around in the grass.
You were still up and by us after that though, right?
Oh yeah, no, I made it out.
Now, I know I
made it out walking.
That was around the time you were quote unquote calling out sick for work.
Yeah.
What made you roll around in the grass?
Well, I went to a quiet spot by your neighbor's house, and I sat down on the curb, and I was sitting there, and I decided, man, instead of sitting, I'd rather lay down. And then, I started rolling around. I have no idea.
Alcohol is a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a thing, yes. But I made it out okay. And I had fun though. I had tons of fun. And then for Halloween, y'all came over as well to my house. We went trick or treating, and I didn't drink as much.
As much.
I did drink quite a bit, but not as much. But that was fun as well. I had a good time.
I've got kind of a little spin-off question that I want to ask based upon Halloween and Halloween parties. I know majority of us at this table attend Sean's party pretty much every year, and I really look forward to it. I think Halloween is right up there with Christmas for me as far as my favorite holidays, really for the reason of Sean's party, which ended up becoming our party this year, but we'll give it right back to Sean next year. But I enjoy dressing up, so my question for the party is, what would you say is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever dressed up as?
We could have saved this for in no particular order.
That's easy for me. It's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Because it was like, for a $60 costume, it was very intricate and got a lot of compliments, and I've worn it probably 5 freaking times for different events, and like a theme party we did at Mike's house. I wore it to Comic-Con once. It's like a go-to costume when I need, and it's like all it is a giant coat, chest thing, whatever, and then a mask, and I wear my own pants with it. It's like, okay.
And I have two for different reasons. My favorite costume that I ever wore was like the Pharaoh. I was like, I think King Tut, and Jamie was Cleopatra.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite. I think I looked the best in that costume. It was really cool. But for other reasons, mostly comical reasons, my favorite is Harambe.
Yeah, I was just thinking
That's
that.
a really good one. As I said, for Mike, there really shouldn't be any choice.
I just was going on my phone.
Would all be all of our vote as far as the favorite ones that we've seen and
The
where.
ghost of Harambe.
I mean, it's kind of tough for me. I think my ultimate favorite was when it was Prince Hans from Frozen. Jessica was Anna. I'm looking back at these costumes that we post in the pic collage. Hans was probably my favorite. I feel like I nailed that costume, had it to a T. But I mean, one that I've dressed up as 3 times, so I have to obviously include it in there is the Seneca Crane from Hunger Games. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these other ones are really good. I mean, the Deep and Starlight from The Boys, Rumpelstiltskin and Belle from Once Upon a Time.
What about the Wick one?
I was never John Wick. I was Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park.
I would have to say I was looking at you and Jessica's collages, and I think my favorite one y'all have done would be the Deep and Starlight from The Boys. I think that was a pretty clever one, pretty well done. For my own favorite Halloween costume, I'd probably say I'd go with the year Heather and I dressed from American Horror Story. I was Papa Legba, and she was Cordelia from American Horror Story. I think that was a really cool idea. Probably my favorite one. Doug Quailman and Patty Mayonnaise is pretty legit too.
So I've also done Quailman, and that's probably the one that I've gotten the most compliments on. And I mean, it's just so instantly recognizable and so easy to put together. I mean, you essentially just wear underwear on top of your pants, throw a cape on, with a nice green vest.
Did you actually able to do the belt on the head?
Yeah, I did. I think I had like a little piece of hanger
Yeah.
that I just glued to it, and then I mean, it was great. And it was funny because like the next day I went to Theo's, and I just so happened to sit down, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with Theo's. When you go there, they hand you, it's like a little, the thing that tells them that you ordered and like who to bring, which table to go to. It was Quailman, and
nice.
it's just it's pretty cool. But my favorite, I think I dressed up as Jack Skellington a couple years back, and I had an old tux that just didn't fit. So I took the time of drawing in pinstripes on this tux, and I had the whole makeup thing on. Had my whole entire head was white, and drew on my, the skeleton aspect of it. And I had a nice little what's it called, like foam cutout for the bat bow tie. And
Nice.
it looked
Yeah.
really, really good. I got a lot of compliments on that. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, talking about like drawing the pinstripes on there. One of the things I really enjoy doing when putting my costume together is I actually enjoy making it. When I was the Deep, I could have actually bought a costume off of like Amazon or somewhere else for like $70. But I was like, no, what's the fun in that? I'm gonna make it. So I bought like a sleeveless Under Armour shirt and some Under Armour pants, and I drew the fucking scales on there. It took me forever, but it came out pretty good.
Making costumes, I really enjoy. I participate in a solid amount of costuming type activities, whether it be like a Comic-Con type thing or my kickball league used to do a prom every year, which you would have to dress up as and it'd be themed. I did Willy Wonka one year, and that was awesome. I bought a costume for that, but I doctored it up. So I had a whole sash of thimbles. It was pretty, or a thread. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you did a great job this year coming to the party dressed as Tom Glavine. I mean, that was pretty clever, and then again, ended up taking home the award for the most funny costume just because you kind of caught us off guard with it. You thought it was a really good idea.
I typically go for the comedy aspect of my my costumes, definitely not horror. I've dressed up as the evil queen before from Snow White, and that was a ton of fun. Carrying around with a little mirror. I had a Mardi Gras costume it was my grandmother's. It was like a ball gown essentially I was wearing. It was pretty nuts.
How about you, Pat?
This is almost a decade ago. I dressed up as a basic bitch
Okay.
for Halloween. I had a white beanie with like a blonde wig, black leggings, UGG boots that I borrowed from a friend, like a white shirt and a scarf and an orange scarf. I went to Starbucks, got a pumpkin spice latte, and I kind of just walked around with that cup all night with booze in it and just walked around wherever I was at. I think I was on Frenchman for a while. Other than that, I think the only costumes I've actually really done for Halloween have probably been Coco Beware.
Yeah.
So that might be my favorite just because it's the most recent and the only one I've really done. But going back through all time, probably my basic bitch costume. I might have to redo that one another day.
Well, much like us with Mike with Harambe, I think the Coco Beware is a favorite among this table as well.
Yeah.
Any chance I get to take my shirt off and get oiled up and put a fucking parrot on my arm or shoulder, I'm gonna try to do that.
You have reprised it too. You've been Coco Beware more than once.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on from Halloween, we also just got through to the conclusion of the MLB World Series. Mike, you wrote this on the list. Is there something that you wanted to particularly say about this? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I'm kind of glad the Yankees won. The Yankees lost, and I think my turning point for where I actually started caring a little bit was when I watched those two clowns from the stands rip the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove, and I said, okay, that's enough for me. I'll pull for the Dodgers from here on out. But what did you want to add on this?
So, unlike you, Travis, I really enjoyed the guy pulling the glove from Mookie Betts' hand. I don't think I laughed that hard in a long time. That was at this household anyway. That was just chuckles like you wouldn't believe.
Well, no, Alex is a Yankees fan, right? Who's his favorite player on the Yankees? Judge?
Aaron Judge, which he is something on my list. He absolutely sucked this World Series.
I thought the memes were pretty good.
Fundamentals were just not there. It was really disappointing seeing him just fumble around. And I don't know. He wasn't 100%. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if it's just since it was his first World Series. Not sure what was going on with him. Another disappointment was. By the way, we were pulling for the Yankees. They were the underdog.
You don't say.
They were the underdog after when they were losing. So
They're
bad.
never an underdog. They're winning championships.
But anyway, another disappointment was Juan Soto, and the talk about the $700 million contract. I mean, I don't think he deserves. But I mean, I don't know. The takeaways on the Dodger side: Freeman with the grand slam was absolutely awesome. Awesome to watch. Even though we were rooting for the Yankees, every time Freeman went up to bat, we were kind of like, all right, let's see what he's gonna do, and sure enough, like every time, man, he'd do something wonderful. You know, whether it be a home run or just good batting.
I'm assuming he won the MVP, huh?
Yes.
Yes. And then on the Yankee side, Anthony Volpe, man, that was just amazing. Another grand slam for the Yankees when he did that, and he was playing really good. I think. I mean, he's not as good as Jeter, but he's you know he's got big shoes to step in.
Say he's
but
got
still,
big balls.
That's what I thought.
But still, I mean, he's
I
on
thought
the
Mike
right
was going with
track.
that.
Big
He's on the right
cojones.
track. He's been at least for the World Series, he was doing really good.
So are you more of a Yankees fan or an Angels fan? I mean, it seems
No,
like you're like
Angels.
seems like you're all on the Yankees right now.
Angels.
Seems like he's jumping bandwagons, much
No.
like he did with hockey, right?
Well, he never got on that bandwagon.
He was supposed to.
He's supposed to.
He
Another Yankee
got
that
on at the first stop.
should get an honorable mention from me.
My bad.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Is Alex Verdugo. Every time he batted, man, I thought he was doing a good job.
I guess it was about time because he's done nothing all year.
And Rizzo too. Rizzo. I mean, when we went
Rizzo can go crawl in a hole and get dirt thrown over him and be buried alive.
so
Wow.
when we went to Chicago
I
and
think
watched.
he's my least favorite MLB player.
Tell me how you really feel.
When we went to Chicago, we saw him play for Chicago, and we kind
Look on
of
your
following
face.
him years ago, and then now he's with the Yankees, and good first baseman. And then my Dodger favorite, Teoscar.
Oh God, you just like the worst people, dude. I hate that motherfucker.
Teoscar's
He
awesome.
does own a Ray Rice jersey and a Colin Kaepernick
Him
jersey.
and Kike.
Wait, so Shohei is not your favorite Dodger?
One of. I misspoke.
How many
But
favorite,
Shohei
how many
didn't
favorite
do
Dodgers do you have?
Shohei didn't do anything.
Teoscar
Got a
Hernandez is a
top five
chode,
list of
so
favorite
yeah.
I don't think so.
There's nobody that makes me gag more in baseball than Anthony Rizzo.
That was my takeaway. That was my takeaway. I wish that the Yankees would have won, but on both sides of the playing field, I mean, everybody did a good job. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto were disappointments. But,
It was a great World Series. They got their fucking asses stomped every game except for one, really, and they were competitive in a couple of them. But then I got home from dinner right as the fifth inning was about to start, and they were up 5-0. I was like, son of a bitch, they're gonna extend this game, which is fine. I'd rather LA win it in LA, but also seeing the Yankees lose on their home field would be cool. And then the Judge error happened, and then who was the short? Volpe is the shortstop, right? Yeah, the errant throw he had to third that would have gotten him out of it as well. That happened, and it snowballed, and I was on the verge of exploding. You know what I mean? As this was all happening, but then they battled back to take the lead again, and then the Dodgers fought back. So the game was interesting. Without being a hater, the game was interesting to watch because it was just back and forth after the fifth inning. But yeah, like I don't make any.
But no, hands down, Dodgers was a better team.
They were a better team, yeah. Just overall as a series,
All the
like
way around.
yeah. Cole had a mental lapse when he didn't cover first in that play. They did a lot of things wrong that did not help themselves. Shohei didn't have a great series. Like I said, Judge didn't have a great
He got
series.
hurt too.
Yeah.
How much of that was?
And I'm sure that played a factor, but I checked in here and there in games. Like I said on the last pod, I probably was just going to watch highlights, and that's kind of what I did. And I watched some recap videos, but I would have preferred the Dodgers to win. But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter to me who won this series because I had no interest in either fan base per se.
About thoughts on all the people saying that it couldn't have been, they purposely didn't make it a sweep because of money grabs. Like, oh, the series can't be a sweep. There's too much money invested. It's like, really?
Well,
That could be possible. I mean,
but it's also so
You know
hard
what I
to.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
how I think. Everything's fucking rigged.
It's so hard to sweep a series, like especially in baseball, because all it takes is one bad inning from a pitcher, from one of your aces even, and your game is wrecked. Like Kershaw has been on the wrong side of a lot of really big games in the postseason. So, I understand what people were saying about that, but I don't think it was ever going to be a sweep. The Dodgers, for being so good, but Yankees could still hit the ball, and they just did not in the series when it mattered in a lot of games. It took them too long to get their offense back to what they've been doing kind of all season. But like the book on the Yankees has always been, all season has been, they will out hit most any and everyone, but defensively they are not the most sound team. So that kind of would bit them in the ass in the last game.
But that guy that stole that ball and threw it back out, that was pretty cool.
The fan.
How the hell was that cool?
So
That guy should
they
get a
interviewed
lifetime ban.
They interviewed the guy afterwards, and he said that him and his buddy go to every single game. They're season ticket holders.
Yeah, I hope they get their season tickets revoked and never go to another game. Fucking assholes.
And they interviewed him, and he said that that's his line. He defends that wall.
Yeah, I think his words were paraphrasing. It's like, "This is my block," and like I had to D up for my on my block, and I'm like, that's the douchiest thing, like to say. But it's again, being a piece of a New Yorker and being a Yankees fan, that sounds exactly like what New York fans would say and think and do.
You're a 40-year-old man. Like, that's the kind of behavior like a child would do wanting a foul ball. This dude just decides to rip the ball out of a guy's glove. And I personally think he should get a lifetime ban.
I will give one kudos to the Yankees organization for giving his tickets away to that kid that has cancer. That was a very nice stand-up gesture for them. They didn't have to do it, but they made a good result out of a shitty situation. So kudos to them. That's the only tip of my cap I will ever give them. They can go get fucked for the rest of their existence.
So the small bit that I'll say about this is I have a strong inclination to just say fuck the Yankees. I have no, reason why. I don't know. It's something in my
just
bones.
something in your soul.
Yeah,
it comes off the tongue right. It's just perfect. Yeah.
That's all I got.
It's like saying fuck the Falcons. It just means
God bless America. Fuck the Yankees.
Tom Levine has spoken.
Tom Levine was never a Yankee. So.
Very true.
All right, well, staying on the topic of sports here, unless anybody has something else they want to add about the World Series.
I mean, I just hope the Orioles are there next year. Yeah.
I'm curious to see what your roster's going to look like. You have a lot of guys going in free agency, like 8 or 9 players.
Yeah, and then the two big guns are Santander and, of course, Corbin Burns. Mm-hmm. Hoping the Orioles can bring one of those two in, preferably Burns, because
it doesn't sound like Burns has any intention of
I mean, the Orioles have up-and-coming bats. They don't really... Their top pitching prospect was Kate Povich this year, and what I saw from him, I didn't like. So, every sign, I would love to see Burns come back.
For me, I'm kind of just hoping we get a manager that can maybe start to fix our team chemistry and offense. But yeah, that's all I got on baseball.
Well, guards seem to be having most people coming back. They're not losing a bunch of free agents. They should be pretty well built for at least next year. So I'm still pretty excited. We're staying on the topic of sports here. I see Mike also wrote Dwayne Wade's statue on the talking points, and I'll let him start with that. But I know I've probably got a few things to say on it as well. But Mike, what would you like to share about the Dwayne Wade's tribute statue in Miami?
Fucking hilarious memes. That's all I've seen. Crazy. Like, is the memes. Supposedly he knew.
Oh, he got to approve it.
He approved it. He knew what it was going to look like. I think it looks more like Morpheus.
Yeah, it looks like Lawrence Fishburne.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wondering about the NFL busts, like for the Hall of Fame, that they're like, I see it, but it's not the best.
And
but it's like, how do you see that and approve it?
The other funny meme that I saw was the one with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I was about to do a poll, like which one of those do you think is worse? Because they're both pretty bad.
They're both pretty fucking bad.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Ronaldo has one.
Oh, it looks terrible.
It's bad.
Horrible.
Patrick can Google that for me.
I mean, they didn't really match his handsomeness, Patrick.
Not at all. He looked like the Goonies dude.
Patrick, do you not consider Cristiano Ronaldo a dish?
Oh yeah. I have
He-
seen that.
He's
Holy
in
shit.
that. He's a handsome gentleman, but he's a piece of shit.
I have seen that with the
And
neck.
that's all I will say.
Yeah, I forgot. I've seen the memes with the neck, like them joking about how it's like his neck's like
It's-
8 feet long.
I mean, it's awful.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even the NFL Hall of Fame busts look like that a lot because of just the way that bronze or whatever metal makes them look. Like that. I mean, yeah,
That one actually looks like.
yeah,
it.
that one looks a little better.
Yeah,
But
like
I mean, the Hall of Fame busts, so they get to see him before they
think
review.
so.
Okay,
To approve 'em.
or like
It's
before
down
they
the
pull the
hall
cloth on, because that would be great. A genuine reaction of an NFL player look like, what the fuck is that on on the podium?
I don't see any way that Dwayne Wade would approve that to be a thing. Because like when you looked at the unveiling, when he saw it, he had the look on his face of like, you got to be kidding me. But I have to be a professional, so I gotta fix my face a little bit. That is criminal. That bust is criminal. They have to redo that.
The Cristiano.
No,
Oh,
Wade.
Wade, yeah.
And
They have to.
And it absolutely, like Mike said, Morpheus. It looks like Lawrence Fishburne. Like that's, I mean, like that's all I can see when I look at it now. Obviously, like almost like a much shorter hairstyle, but at the same time, it's a.
What was the other meme? The guy from Rocky, throw the damn towel.
Yeah, like the memes have gone crazy, but I think I'd be in the same boat to say if I was Dwayne Wade, I'd be asking to take that back, cut the head off of it, and do fix it.
I would boycott any Miami Heat event or party or whatever that they invite me to until they fix it. Sorry, like there's no shot I'm coming back to look at that every fucking time. No, thank you. He deserves better than what they did to him for that.
For sure.
Is there any known instance of somebody like rejecting one?
I don't know if you can actually reject it because I mean, ultimately, it's not like he paid for it and whatever. Like the organization paid for it and was like, here, and he'd be like, what can you reject?
Before they made like what is it, bronze?
Yeah, they had like the casting.
They
or the
had
cast
the
of it.
cast, and he could have said, "Nah, let's do something different with it." And he did.
It's on him.
It's on him.
So they have a picture now. Again, you gotta realize in today's day and age, like everything's AI, so you don't know what's real and what's not. But they had a picture of Dwayne Wade standing next to the head of the thing, and maybe this is what y'all were talking about.
I saw a
And it
video
looked
of
like
it.
he was approving it.
No, I saw a video where he's like looking at it from like angles, and he's proving it.
It's like, yeah, I look like an ugly son of a bitch.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not saying Dwayne Wade's the most handsome guy, but at the same time,
He looks better than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's not. He's no Cristiano
Like,
Ronaldo.
I mean, if you put Dwayne Wade next to Lawrence Fishburne, I mean, there's a clear difference there, and who's more handsome. So, I wouldn't have been thrilled with that one either. Now Todd did say Todd shared one that with LeBron, and it was Abraham Jones. It looked like
Abraham
Even
James.
so, though, Abraham James, but yeah, that even looked more like LeBron than the
That almost-
Ronaldo statue or the.
That almost looked
statue.
like an what's the NBA Playgrounds version of
Yeah.
LeBron.
I would agree with that. I guess this is still kind of on the topic of sports here, unless anybody has else they want to add onto the.
I mean, why is the statue like of him screaming? It's like, was he known for that or something? Like, why isn't it just a
known for a
normal,
bar.
a normal
it was a
picture of it?
celebration when they won.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
one of like the championship celebrations, and
Okay.
they just botched it.
But he looks like a ninja master or something, like a guy like that just broke wood or something in karate with the
Is there a
mouth.
side by side from that? Of
I
I love
sure
the
there
one
is
with
somewhere.
the statue's head photoshopped on him, like in a live shot from the. I think it's
Yeah.
LeBron dunking and him celebrating.
Yes.
and it just and it just looks so bad.
I mean, but thank you to the creator for doing that because all the memes that we got from the release until now, they've been gold.
Yeah. I know. I've been following them and blowing up the group text with them, but I feel like they're pretty damn funny. Pretty much everyone that comes out.
That's a landmark now in Miami.
Yeah, it's outside the stadium.
Well, speaking of statues, one of my friends is in Carolina for the Saints debacle today, but he actually took a picture outside by the Sam Hill statue, which I still think needs to be uprooted and put in front of the Superdome. But
I know we said we weren't going to talk about the Saints today, and I don't want to talk about the game.
It sucked.
let's not ruin the mood of everybody.
But when does Dennis Allen get fired? When?
Today.
I mean,
It's 12:01 a.m.
Is Rita Benson LeBlanc going to wait till the Or is it Gale? Gale's the.
Gale.
Is
Gale.
Gale gonna wait till after the season to fire him because she's too nice, or do you just make a fucking statement now and fire his ass now?
First question is, do you think she's going to fire him?
I think
You
she
got
has
to, man.
She
Because
got to.
your ticket sales are gonna start plummeting if you don't.
How long has she let Loomis hang around?
Yeah, he needs to go too. I mean, he's partially the problem as well. He's not getting enough talent in here, not giving us cap room to get big free agents like a Devontae Adams coming in, even though we're clearly now not a Devontae Adams away when we lose to the Panthers today.
We're a whole nother team away.
If it doesn't come some point, before the bye week or even this week, then, I do think it's coming at the end of the year because I think there's too many disgruntled fans for her. I mean, she could even use that as her excuse to say, like, hey, our fan base is very much displeased with you. We got to let you go.
I mean, I'm not even interested in watching the games anymore.
Nope.
It's like I wasn't really that interested today, and after they lost today, it's like, what the fuck? Do I even have anything to look forward to on Sunday anymore?
As disinterested as you and most Saints fans are, I think the players are just as disinterested. They are not playing with like on defense. We always say what tackling is an effort thing. You have to want to do it because it's not a sexy job like playing offense. They don't look like they are interested in doing anything outside of like the basis of their job for him. He's not motivating them to play hard or like that. They just like they're just there because they need to be there for their career and for paychecks.
Now I'm gonna tell you the fake punt today surprised the hell out of me because I thought that little puss was gonna punt again. 4th and 1, and they line the punt up. I was like, oh, this son of a bitch.
I thought that was
should be
probably a
going for it.
Kubiak decision.
Right? Maybe.
When you have those 1 yard, like Taysom Hill's percentage on 1 yard gains are pretty ridiculous. Like why would you ever punt on a 4th and 1 when you're in reasonable territory? Because you give it to Taysom, he doesn't go down easy. He'll drag people for that.
He's a hoss.
Yep. I mean, there was a couple of times on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 where they gave him the ball, and it looked like he was stopped in the backfield, and he just dragged them across the line. So I mean, you have a high percentage to get it when you have 1 yard, just because you have a healthy Taysom Hill.
That's the coach we need right there.
They interviewed Tyrann Matthews last week, I think, or
We
2
can
weeks
keep
ago.
wishing.
And
He's another one. Speaking of somebody, needs to hang it up.
if you
Tyron's
read
better
between
days
the
are behind him.
lines, I think the locker room is against Dennis Allen.
Well,
Which is, I mean, I think it's the wrong mentality, but I think that's something else that's playing a part in the players not doing as well as they should. They want him to be out, they don't like him.
before we got on the pod, we swore we weren't going to talk about the Saints, but we did say now's the time to clean house, and you start with veteran players that you can still get stuff for, maybe. And I think Lattimore's at the top of the list. Tyrann Matthews probably right behind Lattimore. I mean, I think he's got to go. Cam Jordan, we probably waited out till he retires at the end of the year.
Lattimore at least still has gas in the tank.
Well, Lattimore's at the top. Like he was like number 2 on the trade target list at the deadline because of where we are. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to be a Saint at the end of the year. But yeah, it's just a sad thing because after a 2-0 start, we were very optimistic. We were optimistic heading into the year after we did our draft, after we did our picks on what we thought the season were going to look like, and now we kind of all look like fools pretty much. Cause,
boy, was I
What do you
wrong.
think?
we all were. I mean, if we, at least through the first 4 or 5 games, we all okay, this is what we expected, and we could still bounce back. Now it's like, no, we can't bounce back. We're throwing.
We're
it
done.
Yeah, we already have 7 losses.
We have a lot of injuries, but that still you can't make that an excuse.
That would be the
So
only
much.
thing saving Dennis Allen to the end of the season is that the injuries. But I know fans don't want to hear that, because other teams have injuries too. But they next man up,
I don't think he's coming back.
I mean, we had that random John Charles guy pull the ball out the guy's hand and get a pick. It's like you can have backups that can do plays like that. Why can't we put together a win?
That was a really good play by that guy. I have to give him some credit.
And my money's on. Well, they gave Kamara his money that he deserved probably from the beginning of the season. And then watch next year if we don't have it improve, we don't get anything to his liking. He's gonna have some phantom injury and he's not gonna play, or he's gonna have a bunch of nagging injuries, or he sits out a game or two
because he's gonna pull a Michael Thomas.
because he's got his money. He's late in his career. Why does he have to? He touched the ball 30 times today. It's insane.
Speaking of Michael Thomas going off on Twitter on Derek Carr, it's just kind of like Look, nobody in New Orleans likes Derek Carr at this point. I mean, I feel like we, I think we could all safely say that. But we don't like you either, Michael Thomas. So you can kind of shut your mouth because nobody gives a shit what you have to say. You've done nothing.
Right.
You did nothing for us the last 4 years while you were here. So,
You had one good season.
so you can just go away crawling a hole with Anthony Rizzo and
had
get
4 or
Derek Carr
5.
on top of you.
I mean, I think it speaks volumes that there's a reason why Michael Thomas didn't get picked up by anybody. Like no one. With all the rash of injuries at wide receiver,
Amatuma.
the Chiefs, the
How
Chiefs,
old is
the
he?
Eagles, whatever, no one picked him up, and that speaks volumes about
People knew what
his
they were
ability and him as a person.
How old is Michael Thomas? He's got to be like, what, 32 maybe at most?
Oh yeah, he's young.
Yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of years if he was,
He's young. But
I mean, you could say
Amatuma
Des
is
Bryant
a
was the
very
same way.
accurate statement.
Yeah, 31. He's only 31, and nobody wants him. Not even the Denver Saints want him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants that malignant mass floating around your locker room.
And like we laugh, but you're absolutely correct. No one wants him.
I mean, it's kind of like Des Bryant, too. But, Des Bryant actually got picked up by somebody here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we have him for a hot minute, just like
Yeah.
Brandon
Yeah,
Marshall?
didn't he blow his knee out or something?
Yes.
Like just
Yeah.
like
he
just
didn't
practicing?
actually play it down for us.
I don't even think it was in a game. It was a
No.
practice.
Yeah.
Same with Brandon Marshall. We had him in training camp
It
or
was his
something
Achilles,
like
huh? Yeah, he blew out his Achilles in practice.
Brandon Marshall
But I think he
actually
came.
played a little bit.
I think he came to
Not
camp
for
and
us,
got out
though.
of shape, didn't he?
No.
I mean,
that. No, I think he was just training. You look it up on Wikipedia, a little star saying training camp or a practice squad member or something. Like he never actually played it down in uniform for us. But that was at the end of his career, in fairness to him. I mean,
All right. Well, all right. So let's go ahead and move on from the Saints. And before we entirely move on to sports, I think this is kind of like a sport, I guess. Russell and I were both present at the corporate classic yesterday, which is one of these charity or fundraiser runs. 5K. It's a qualifier for the Crescent City Classic. Russell, I just want to get your opinion. I don't know if you've run a lot of races or what was your thoughts on it?
So that's the most amount of people I've seen at that event in a long time. I run races on and off throughout. Jesus, Pat.
Mike, you got frogs in your garage?
Sparking spider
They do.
over here.
fucking spider.
Hermagerd.
That specific race, I mean, so the company I work for, I get to sign up for free for that. They typically sponsor a lot of the races that we have around here, and I'm an avid runner on and off. It's a really good event. They only have one beer booth, which was really upsetting.
Mick Ultra, too.
I can't complain that I'm getting like free beer at the end of a race.
Well, it's healthy beer, so you
Yeah.
need
Freaking
I did have a
Mick-
very
kind of like the commercials, they finish a workout and grab a Mick Ultra,
so. Speaking
oh yeah,
to that,
the two chicks in the sports bras, like they're just like sweaty from a run. Oh, cheers, Mick Ultra.
I had
Yeah,
one
that's
of
what
my
they really
coworkers
drink
come up
after
to
a
me
run. Yeah.
After the race, he had a bum knee or something. He didn't run it, but his wife came up to me and she had a friend, and I'm just sitting there drinking the beer, and how you doing? And she genuinely asked me, "Oh, you're drinking a beer? Like, is that something you actually want to do after a workout?" I was like, "Yeah, no, this is like really good for your body." And she's like, "Oh, what does that do for you?" And it's not going to sound as funny now, but in the moment, I was just like, it just brings me happiness. And she just fucking lost it. She thought I was going to tell her it's some kind of like supplement in this beer or something. And,
Makes my dick hard.
But isn't there like some kind of truth to the fact that doesn't like alcohol open up oxygen in your blood or something like that?
I'm sure it releases some
sounds
dopamine in your body.
Something weird like that, but I think that's why they serve it there. But
overall, I had a good time. The route is good. The day was good. The temperature was pretty decent.
okay. So I'm gonna give you my opinion on these runs. I've done the Susan Komen breast cancer race for the cure a few times, and this was the first corporate classic I've done, and I did do a half marathon, and I'm not as much of a fan of the 5Ks because of the fact that of the crowd. So it's kind of like I didn't try to qualify or anything like that. I'm not heavy into running by any stretch, but I did go in the middle jogger section, and I felt like I did pretty well, paced myself pretty well. The one problem is like there was a lot of people there yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people at the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, and I feel like I can't get enough separation where it's like every time I feel like I can make more more on my time or try to gain on my time. It's like I'm almost stepping on the back of people's shoes. You know, just the crowd there was really big yesterday. It was kind of frustrating at times.
Almost all races I've done always start off like that.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the Crescent City Classic because they have a ton of different corrals.
Yeah.
If you place yourself appropriately, so theoretically you shouldn't have that issue. You still have people that are in like pushing strollers and stuff up in the running section, and
So it's like Disney World when you
Yeah,
have their
essentially.
fireworks show.
I walked the event, so like I didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
I was just out there having fun.
Now I've done the Race for the Cure probably 2, maybe even 3 times. And I know, like, right when you get out of the gate, there's a shit ton of people, but I feel like the longer you go, the more it kind of disperses a bit, and you have some space to run. I don't know where this one was.
It was almost the same route as the Race for the Cure, and mine I didn't feel like it opened up to where I could actually get a nice open lane to run until like the very end of the race, like almost that final stretch.
man.
Right before we turned back into the stadium part, that I was actually able to open up and have nice space to run.
Did your horse do that?
But I will say when you run like a half marathon, there's much less people running because nobody really wants to run 13 miles. There's crazy people that do it often, but
Well, I was gonna say it's got to be the mileage. The
Oh, yeah.
shorter the run, the more people are gonna walk it, bring strollers, all that kind of shit.
so that, like you said, like Todd pointed out, like when the race starts, there's still a lot of people at the gate, but that one did not take long at all to basically get a nice open area to be able to run. So I like that aspect better, but do I like running enough to run 13 miles often? No, not really. So that was just my take.
I found that odd that they brought back 2 years ago the pig race at the Cochon at school, and it's only a mile through the neighborhood. And the first year they brought it back, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just walk it in the back. Well, I mean, there's a ton of kids are in it too, but it's like as soon as it started, people took off, and I'm like in the back with like 3 other women. And it was like, what the hell? Like, it's only a mile. What are these people like literally sprinting? And we get to the end, and they're handing out numbers like as you cross the finish line, and it's like, for my age group, I finished 52nd. I was like, I didn't know this was like a legit thing. It was like, it's only a mile. Why are we like, running our asses off? It's like I've already had way too much food and drink in me to even care. I was just participating to participate, thinking I was gonna just walk through the neighborhood and wave at people or something, and it was like I got left in the dust. It was like, okay, awesome.
So one of my favorite things about the Crescent City Classic is how it is not necessarily a running event for people. It is like a drinking event.
Yeah.
You have people pouring alcohol down your throat, like during, like specifically right before you hit the Dragos. Typically sets up right before the overpass on Esplanade. They have someone that's always out there. They got tequila that I always stop by.
It's red dress
They
run
have
without the red dresses.
Yeah, alcohol hydration stations. Like that's typically the runs I gravitate
Alcohol
towards.
hydration stations. I love that.
Speaking of the Classic, though, I would love to invite the pod to actually participate as a group in the Classic next year.
That's a half marathon.
Sometime it's a 10K, so it's 6.2 miles.
Fuck that.
It's not bad. You can walk the whole thing. You can run it.
Sarah and her
last year-
family used to do it, and like there's video of her with Michael in a stroller back in the day before I knew her.
It's such a good event. Last year I dressed up for it. Me and 2 buddies, we all dressed up as Dragon Ball Z characters, and it was fucking hilarious because people thought we were from the Orange Paris prison. We were in orange jumpsuits, and we had a counter for who actually recognized us, and we had a good time.
I don't know if I can get away with that. Sorry.
Well, we did run into a fella who just came out of a prison on the red.
Oh, I was there. I
Economy,
remember.
I will say, before we move on from running, all the other Sean was mentioning that his child's school also does a run. So does my kid's school also does they call it the Fun Run.
Fun
Fall
Run,
Festival Fun
yeah.
Run, and it's literally a block around the block. And I've never gotten out there early enough to do it, but yeah, I know that a lot of the fall festivals try to do that as well.
Camden's fun run is they just run in circles in the backfield.
Yeah.
And then-
Alex and Lucas's too.
Oh, is that like that booster
They just-
run thing?
yeah,
It's
booster
not.
run.
Yeah,
They literally run the circle.
Yeah, their school.
and they get to pass a flag to each
Yeah,
other.
ours started that too. Yeah, where it's like, oh, pledge how many laps, and it's like the lap is like as big as this table. It's like, and they run 30 laps. Like they say, on average, the kids run 30 laps. I'm like, yeah, I bet. It's like they run more at recess. What the hell?
All right, there's something sports related before we move on. I'm gonna make this really quick too because college baseball hasn't started yet. It's still a good 3 months away. As you know, I'm a big UNO baseball fan, and Also, as I've kind of told you guys, the baddest man on the planet, Mitchell Sanford, is no longer at UNO. He's moved on to greener pastures.
Where?
Well, I don't know. He might be done. He might be done playing.
You mean they don't play for life at this
But
level?
the previous baddest man on the planet,
Ben McDonald?
Oh, Jesus.
the guy who won the Southland Hitter of the Year the prior year, Tristan Moore, is back on UNO. So it sounds like I've got a new guy to support it this year.
Was it
So
working out in the transfer
There will
portal?
be some definite Tristan Moore updates on the pod.
I can't wait for them.
So Tristan Moore, was actually had something crazy like a 375 batting average, and he led the team in homers 2 years ago, which was attractive to the transfer portal. So he ended up actually transferring to the university. He ended up transferring to the University of Houston, and I don't think he got as much playing time as he would have hoped. So now he entered the transfer portal again, and now he's back at UNO, which is a good thing for UNO. But
So I'm excited. Needless to say, I'm excited about the 2025 college baseball season. UNO is taking the Southland this year.
You willing to
Put a wager on that?
put some skins on that? No, I'm saying with me, just in general.
That would be.
Like if they don't, you have to do a shot of something maybe that I create for you.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Okay. And if they do, I'll do a shot in return. And or if Tristan finishes in the top 2, 3 for Southland Player of the Year, I'll still do a shot of something that you create for me.
Okay,
Deal?
sounds like a plan.
You shake on it, or we good?
Oh yeah,
If you make something good, can you make it for everybody?
So what's the deal? If he wins Southland Hitter of the Year again, or
If
he
Tristan
says he
wins
finishes in the top 3.
top 3, if he finishes top 3 Southland Hitter or MVP, whichever, I don't care. And or
UNO's
you
gonna
know
win.
wins Southland,
UNO's gonna win Southland.
then I'll do a shot of Todd's choice. If he doesn't, if UNO doesn't win Southland, then he has to do a shot of whatever I make for him.
Nice.
tell Todd to just be prepared to drink.
Yeah, Jaeger bombs.
It's been a big stretch for UNO to win Southland.
I might take him to Evangeline and get him a shot of Russell.
Hey.
But you have to wait till after Oktoberfest next year.
And then after that, he'll get a shot of bourbon.
Because, that way he'll be about three tall boys.
Call me up, I'll be ready.
So UNO baseball, if you're listening,
do something.
we gotta win this year.
By the way, next time y'all shake across me, graze me a little harder. Just saying.
Does anybody want to, before we entirely move on from sports and then go into something very odd that I'm going to talk about next, would y'all like to share anything about your respective hockey teams? We'll start with the resident big hockey fan, Mike, over here. Does he want to talk about how the Golden Knights are doing?
I'm second big.
No.
Actually, the Kings did beat the Golden Knights earlier this week by the score of 6-2. And then proceeded to lose to the Blackhawks the next day and lost to the Kings the day before. They lost to the Sharks the day before.
Sharks won a 3-game win streak, and they lost last night to the Canucks in a nail biter. They blew it. They should have had it won.
Things are looking up.
I wanted to watch that Frozen Frenzy thing this year, but we got caught up doing something for the kids that night. But yeah,
I watched
yeah,
it.
but no.
I watched a little bit of it, but the Frozen Frenzy, I started out watching the Kings game, but it was it ended up starting at like 9 o'clock, so I ended up watching the first period, maybe a period and a half before I went to bed. Okay.
What's the Devils' record?
Look it up, sir.
I don't have much to add because much like the Saints, half my team feels like it's injured and hurt, and we're suffering horribly because of that. So it's not fun times right now for the Avalanche Kingdom, but we'll see when the injuries hopefully start to kind of get better. See how we play, but it's not great right now. Not as bad as the Sharks, but still not great.
Put some bite to it.
I was reading. I was actually since we're talking about the Sharks, I was actually reading. Todd has talked about their 3 big young talents, which would be Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, and then they have a guy named Quentin Musty who they actually dropped back down to the minors at the start of the year. Well, I read an article that's saying that this guy Musty was so pissed off that he didn't make the team that he instantly requested a trade. And and actually held out for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it just returned to the lineup, just returned to his minor league lineup on Friday, but they refused to trade him. But I don't understand why they're sending him back down. To tell you the truth, they had like 43 goals in the minors last year, so I don't know why they don't think he's pro ready. But
Got to be better than some of the guys they have in the lineup, that's for sure.
anyway, all right, so we'll close out that with sports talk.
Oh, what about the Pels?
If y'all want to talk about the Pels, I don't watch them.
Russell might
Yeah.
speak better on it.
I see Zion sitting out again tonight or tomorrow.
Has Zion played a game yet?
Yeah, he played.
Quick question about Zion. Beard and mustache, yes or no?
Wait, what?
Beard, mustache, yes
With
or no?
Zion?
On young Zion, what you think?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. He's got that right now.
I really don't know.
Yeah, he's rocking a little beard.
I mean,
I think it's a good look for him.
All I've really seen him with was without, so I guess I would have to say without, but I don't know what he really looks like.
We'll find a photo for you. That's all I got. Back, continue.
His porn baby mama likes it.
I can't comment.
So I
Okay,
don't have
so
much to say about the Pels. I did kind of go to the game the other day, though. I
Got a pullover.
Kind of went to the game.
entered the arena. They're giving out those sweet pullovers that they give out every couple games, and I stumbled into some free tickets, and I was trying to wait for my girlfriend to go to the game. She was really into the Pelicans.
Did this
And,
one look good? The pullover that they gave look good? Or?
I almost wore it tonight. It's just
Really?
it's all white. It's
okay.
got the Pelican and
We did one.
the one last year was the black one.
Yeah, the voodoo looking
Yeah,
ones.
I like that one.
The,
You didn't like that one?
No, it was the Mardi Gras color one.
The one with
That's
the
white
one with
too,
the
isn't it?
stripes.
And it's got-
No, it's striped like purple, green, and gold.
With the 3 stripes and it says NOLA over it. Yeah, I got the hat for that one.
I
Yeah,
didn't really like that too.
I debated on getting the voodoo looking 59.50 last
Yeah.
year, but I'm like, I already got the Mardi Gras one with the fleur de lis, and I have the one with the 3 stripes, and I was like, all right, too many hats.
Not about giveaways, but I've been freaking hunting down, trying to get. I mean, obviously I missed my opportunity, but I've been trying to eye up the new era Pelicans with the City Connect one. It's the lime green with the Pelicans, not the NOLA one, but it's
the
the
black
actual
and lime
Pelican. It's
green?
black and
Yeah.
lime green.
Yeah, like the one with the bones you're talking about from last year. Yeah, that's the voodoo style.
I know.
That was that was the city.
I can't find it.
The city gear one last
Called
year.
something
Yeah.
Called Cillian Rail.
Anyway.
But that was the extent. I walked into the arena. I went and got my free pullover,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know.
walked right out.
All right, so we're gonna move on from sports, and I'm gonna talk about something that's very weird and off the walls, and Todd mentioned it and says it should have been a topic for the pod in the text.
I know my mom probably rarely listens to these, but I really want her to listen to this episode. Go ahead, Travis. Keep going.
So I don't know what's making these odd dreams pop into my head, but they are. I've had 2 really strange ones over the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if it's from a total lack of sleep or if it's maybe I got a brain tumor or something. I mean, I don't know what's leading them, but hopefully.
Does it involve a friend that goes and does movies with you?
No.
Does movies with
Absolutely.
you.
He didn't say a wet dream.
Oh. Speaking of which, we can actually temper that for right after I finish talking about that.
Oh
Do we
boy.
really need to?
Yes.
All right, so
Cute profile photo.
so probably about I'll say probably about 2 weeks
No,
ago,
it's
I had the first of these strange dreams, and it was actually that I'd woken up kind of startled in the middle of the night that my wife was a terrorist, and she actually had ordered a weapon of mass destruction on the black market, and was plotting to wipe out half of the United States with it.
Did you tell Heather about this dream?
I did. Yeah.
So she was like, so Heather was playing Thanos then. So
She
she
was
was like,
she ordered a WMD.
Yeah, on the black market.
Wow.
And ended up saying
From George
telling-
W. Bush.
And then confessing to me her plan that she was going to wipe out,
super fetch.
a third of the United States or half the United States, whatever it was. And it's foggy from a dream. And so I told her about it, but I was like, damn, that was a very strange dream. Don't know where that one came from.
Had you watched any war movies in the days prior?
No.
No.
Very weird. So that was my first odd one. But the second one is the one that Todd really wants me to tell you about because he just thought it was
I probably laughed for a good 5 minutes after Travis sent this in a text to me.
And I actually just, you know how sometimes when you wake up you don't remember having the dreams? Well, I was sitting in a PD. You know, PD is professional development.
So you were asleep in the PD?
I thought you meant police department.
So the kids were off, the students are off of work Friday and tomorrow and Tuesday because most schools are polling places, so the students are off of school on Tuesday.
No.
But then the faculty is required to go in on Friday and Monday for professional development days. So tomorrow, that's what Todd and I will be doing again. But on Friday, I'm sitting in my professional development, just kind of like zoning out. And then all of a sudden, this dream popped back into my head, and
Was the crab wearing loafers?
I could not like stop myself from fucking like giggling, because I was like, oh shit, I had that dream last night, and I put my phone underneath the table and I text, you know, Todd, my wife, and his wife, where the four of us are on a text together. And I said, yeah, y'all not gonna believe this dream I had last night. You know, we were shaped by a pretty rough experience when we went to Atlanta, where my mom actually went with us to Atlanta to watch her first professional baseball game.
She hated
really,
it.
All she did was complain about the amount of walking we did, right? From the parking lot to the stadium, from the bars around the stadium to get into the stadium. So it was a miserable experience for her. Well, somehow it pops into my dream that we're at another baseball game with my mom. And then
Did you recognize the stadium?
I don't know.
Where we at?
I just remember that the seats looked like the green Zephyrs / baby cake seats.
Oh, maybe it was the Coliseum.
It was the Shrine.
But we're sitting there at the game, and it's probably like midway through the game, 5th or 6th inning, and all of a sudden she turns and says, she tells my sister that she's got to leave, and all of a sudden she turns back to us and says, yeah, we got to leave. So then her and my sister get up to leave, and we're like, where the fuck are they going? You know, we're in another city, we're on vacation, and all of a sudden I look over, I could smell, and my mom has this big shit stain on her pants.
What the hell?
So she had to leave the stadium because she shit her pants. And like all I could remember was, oh my god, that smells fucking terrible. So, and that's about, I think, where the dream ended. But
So was that the WMD?
Wait, this is the same dream as the WMD?
no, they were like
I hope
separated.
not.
They were like separated by
It could be.
That
Dreams
was
have
the
no
weapon of
rules.
mass destruction.
Dreams have no limits, so it could be.
But
This
she
is
had
the
remember
dream.
it smelled so bad, and I was like, damn, what's that smell? And I look over and mom's got a big shit stain on her pants, and they're hightailing it up the stadium to exit.
Have you had the opportunity to talk to her about this dream?
I'm definitely telling Mom to listen to this
I have
episode.
not. I have not told
You
my
should
mom
title
about this
it
dream.
Mary's WMD.
Please bring this up over Thanksgiving dinner. Like, hey, Mom, now that we're done eating, we've had a drink and we're all kind of sitting around, kind of like letting the food process through our body. You know, we're getting a little bit of the itis. Let me tell you about a situation or a dream or two I had, specifically one involving you. Just bring that up in conversation with her.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, you know, dinner at your mom's house, your sister's gonna be like, I think Mom's getting old. She shit herself the other day.
Oh, I'm like Nostradamus here.
I was predicted it beforehand.
So yeah, that's that was a couple of weird dreams back to back, and so just figured I'd have the need to say that on air and tell you guys.
It's a good laugh.
This is not a great transition, but I have no idea how to transition to this. Mike,
Yes, sir.
something in your garage caught my eye, and I need you to explain what this is to me.
Well, start off by saying we're in a new location.
Yes, we have moved from the outside location that we normally use at your house to your garage, which has been expertly organized for us in potting today. So thank you for keeping the skeeters.
And just as Patrick's talking,
Honey Boo Boo is right on cue. But as I look around this magnificently arranged garage, my eyes were attracted or drawn to a game that you have in your garage.
A what?
A game.
A game.
Yeah.
Okay.
do you want to play
And
the
I
game?
don't know
I
if you
feel like we're playing
possibly
I Spy
played this
now.
game, but I hope you're an
think Sean
expert
saw
in
it.
the
I just
game.
turned around and I know what he's talking about.
Mike, can you tell me about the game Soggy Doggy?
It's something Jamie bought the kids.
Look at the
long time ago.
picture.
I don't know. I don't think I played that.
Look at the girl behind the dog. Look at the
Yeah,
picture.
because I have so many questions about this game.
I mean, we could play it.
I played Soggy Doggy last night.
The picture looks like Goose the doggy or something.
I don't know much about it. It's something Jamie bought the kids probably a couple of years ago.
Now, full transparency.
Now I'm looking
The
around the
only
room.
reason
I just
I
noticed the
really-
bat up there.
The,
I just noticed the bat up there. I'm looking at everything now. The Negan bat.
and honestly,
frickin' skull.
the only reason I really wanted to bring this up, other than just being genuinely curious what the hell Soggy Doggy is as a game for children, is to maybe have this be the pod episode.
Soggy Doggy.
But yeah, Soggy Doggy.
It looks interesting.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh, you know what? I did play that one before.
Oh, did you now?
So the dog's in a little bathtub.
Yeah, you bathe the thing. Look at it.
And you're supposed to bathe him, but you can't touch him too hard, or he like vibrates and splashes water at him.
So it's almost like Operation, but with a dog in a bathtub.
Pretty much. Yeah,
This
that is a fun game.
But it splashes water all over the place.
Yes.
This is
Quote-
fun. This is fun for parents.
Quote
Jesus.
Mike, Soggy Doggy is a great game. And Todd apparently played it last night.
The age is 4+.
Was
I
that-
hope his face is 4+.
Did you play it with gushers?
The
No,
showering,
no gushers.
shaking, wet doggy game. And I do like, if we're not putting doggy behind it, how would y'all normally say this word? Do you say soggy or do you say soggy?
Soggy.
So it's soggy doggy or soggy doggy? We're all saying soggy doggy. It's like sausage.
So, Mike, have you ever brought Soggy Doggy into the bedroom?
No, but I'm gonna start.
I mean, honestly, I don't think Soggy Doggy is a bad thing.
It involves something getting wet. I'm just saying.
It probably smells like doggy.
This little fellow's enjoying it.
So is she.
Yeah, look at the side picture.
They look so happy
Look at the
playing
girl
Soggy
behind the
Doggy.
dog. Look at this. The dog's eyes in the girl. Like, hey.
That dog looks like he's getting something he maybe didn't want. Like maybe she's a little bit too invasive on that cleanse.
Yep.
She played hide the brush.
Those are those like gimmicky games.
Hide the
that
doggy.
They get parents in the behind them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Soggy Doggy. Coming to a house near you.
Thankfully, mine is way older than 4 now, so I don't have to worry about that.
Is there like a companion game like Dry Foreplay?
There's something in
It's
that.
painful.
Playing Missionary?
Go see
What other games
Let's
is-
go see what else.
Is that a Milton Bradley game?
Well, I see you got one called Bugs in the Kitchen that has a dude that looks like the chef from Ratatouille on the box.
Is that what happens? Is Bugs in the Kitchen what happens after Soggy Doggy is not like cleaned up or hygienic?
What about this one?
Pie Face what?
Pie Face Showdown.
I thought it said Hoedown.
Face showdown.
My kids have definitely played the pie.
These all sound like videotapes from somebody's shelf.
See, you got Candyland. That's one of the OGs.
Cream Pie Face Hoedown.
Pie Face Showdown sounds like something
Pie
else.
Face Showdown. You play that after Soggy Doggy.
The loser of Soggy Doggy has to get a Pie Face Showdown.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'll play both of them in the bedroom. Sounds like.
Hey, yo. Oh well, I'm sorry. Sorry for derailing that. I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
It's okay. I don't have too much more to add on that.
I would hope not.
But since y'all did mention Todd and I's
I mean,
movie
mom had soggy underwear.
Thank you. Good tie-in. You did mention Todd and I's movie friend. We actually are fresh off of going to see.
That was definitely
Yeah,
a Soggy.
That was soggy.
That's
Actually, fresh off of going to see Venom 3 last night. I don't know if any of y'all have seen Venom 3 or if y'all have any movie reviews that y'all want to give while we're on this topic. I thought Venom 3 was pretty good. It has a little bit of a sad ending to it. But, you know, they keep saying it's the last one in the Venom saga, but at the same time, it appears they're going to be bringing in, like, a...
Yeah, I mean, with the after, they have 2 post-credit scenes, and obviously one of them is one of the main villains from the Venom comics, so I don't see how it's going to be the end of Venom, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but look, overall, I thought it was a good watch. You know, definitely had a little bit of a sad ending, but no complaints.
We watched Casper last night, The Friendly Ghost.
No.
With Devin
The one
Sawa.
with,
Yeah, let me tell you.
One from the
I
90s?
forgot how good that movie was.
What's her name? It's the main character.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah,
Christina Ricci.
Yeah, I like that movie.
That was a very good
Yeah,
movie.
that was a good one.
So I was a little. I remember watching it when I was younger, and I thought it was a little overhyped. I was excited. maybe because I was really excited to see it, and I walked out saying like, oh, it wasn't really that good. You know, 'cause
I mean, it's definitely
Hard
not
hide.
spend
Hard
money
hide.
and go to the movies to see it, but family night is good.
Since you're bringing that
We're
up,
low
though,
key
like
sampling bourbon right now.
how great was it seeing movies back in the theater when you were a kid? Because we had the United Artists Theater that was over at Elmwood. We had the actual Elmwood, Esplanade Theater.
Joy Cinema.
Excuse me, Grand Artists. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
United Artists.
Those Howard Cinemas was over behind where the Grand is now.
Yeah.
That was general.
Yeah, that was like the Esplanade Theater.
That was General
We had the
And
Cinema.
then you had
Well,
United Artists, which was across the street from Esplanade.
By At Home. Remember they had one in the strip mall?
Yeah, that was
That's
the
United
United
Artists,
Artists. Yeah,
That was United Artists?
Yeah.
the
Not
movie
the
theater.
one-
It's
Yeah,
still there.
that
That
was-
building's been
yeah,
abandoned
well,
for years.
Then you had all the ones by Lakeside too. You had like Lakeside 1, 2, and 3, and like one was where like Just for Feed is or Petco is now, whatever it is.
Joy Cinema. That was the one in Kenner.
Yeah, that was the
it was
Dollar
the Dollar
Show.
Show.
The Dollar Show.
The
Yeah.
Dollar
Yeah, the one that where Kenner Bowl was close
But
to.
I remember like we would go see like movies like every week over the summer. Like when we saw Casper, we probably saw Congo and The Hunchback of Notre Dame like within like weeks of each other.
The Rocketeer.
So it was just cool. Like now you gotta pay $20 for like Dolby tickets and all that kind of crap. So I mean it's not as good. But I felt like it had more movies had more meaning when you were
We used to
kids.
go to the Joy Cinema and like hope to God we didn't like get herpes or something.
We're like low key sampling bourbon right now.
I think United Artists was probably my favorite one to
It
go
was
to.
a
It was
very
a good
cinema.
it was a good
It
theater.
was
Yeah.
very
I still have a
actually-
book with old movie tickets, and I have one from that movie theater, and it's The Matrix from 1999.
That was actually the first one that I discovered Care Bear gummy bears at. Ended up
I
really
can't
loving
believe
it.
that place closed down. But I guess they all did.
And it's still there. The movie theater hasn't been turned into anything. You probably walk in, and there's still the theaters are all still there. It's
It'd be
weird.
interesting to get inside that.
Probably
place.
creepy as hell.
Yeah, probably just as interesting as going to see a Six Flags abandoned.
They probably got roaches.
I would like to go see Six Flags. before we
Homeless
tear it
people
down.
and dead bodies, and
Is it actually going to be torn down at this point? Like, I know it's
Supposedly somebody
off and
bought
on
it.
about somebody buying it.
Okay, well I guess we can kind of move on then from the movie talk and my strange dreams. I have a couple of gear grinders for today. So who would like to get the gear grinder started, or do we want to do the shot before the gear grinder? All right, so we're gonna do a shot after the gear grinders. But
oh.
Mike, do you have something that grinds your gears, or is this something that Sean put on?
No, I put that on there.
And now it's time for another segment of What Grinds Todd's Gears.
So, the grind my gears, I mean, it's not a traditional grind my gears, but, I don't know, like, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. It's been on the news. Apparently, a New Orleans EMS ambulance got carjacked the other day in New Orleans,
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
and they were at the Ozanam Inn, which is...
Wow, it's the homeless shelter where
It's
you
a
work.
homeless
You work.
shelter.
You actually work to.
Yes.
We actually
There to.
were supposed to
Correct.
work there,
They
meaning
were there working
serve food
like
there.
And this is strictly what the news said, right? They were
Mhm.
there working a dizziness patient or something, and some crazy lady jumped in the driver's seat of the ambulance and went on a joyride. And they made it sound like NOPD, like, got there, but
It was with the EMS, and everybody was in it.
the more you looked at it, at the story, NOPD was like at the very tail end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the medics and the supervisors went out and pretty much did a blockade on that ambulance and pulled that lady out. And NOPD showed up at the very end, pretty much just to arrest her. Or I don't know. She might have went to the hospital. I'm not sure. But I don't know, man. It just got me thinking a lot. Just the vulnerability. Can't say it. Vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
There you go.
Vulnerability.
Thank you, Sean.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
San Diegans.
Of just you know, the day-to-day job that we do, and
Because they like she hopped in and like the EMS personnel and everybody
they
was
were in the back.
they were in
treating
it.
the patient.
Yeah, the patient was in it too.
The
Like
patient
Jesus Christ,
and two medics were in the back of the unit, and this crazy lady went and did a joyride.
That was during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I heard
Made
something
the
about
news
that.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just got me thinking, and it irritates me that that's another thing that we have to deal with. You know, that's out there, and you know, luckily nothing bad came of it. But I mean, that could have been really bad.
Yeah.
You know, that could have hurt a bunch of people.
She didn't like wreck in anything, huh?
No, thank God.
How far did she get? Like,
Oh, all over town. It was all over freaking town. I don't even know how long. It sounded like it was like a 20-minute joyride.
Damn.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder. Well, you
And
said
the police was nowhere to be found until the very end.
You said Ozanam Inn. We were supposed to work there last year or something, you know, as we always volunteer for 100 things. And it fell through. And I was like thinking when it was like, we're always trying to jump in and help. You know, I'm talking about the men's club. And it's like, okay, that's a little like beyond like we're helping school. Why are we going to go to Ozanam Inn and serve homeless? I mean, that's fine and all, but we're not a charity organization. Like, what the hell's going on? And I was kind of like glad that fell through because I felt kind of weird about doing that, like on a Saturday morning. Like, I don't.
Believe me, you don't.
It's like the stuff you'd see to people, and I was just like, okay, this is a little beyond my volunteer pay grade, you know.
Mike, I know the answer to the question already, I'm pretty sure, but I'll ask it either way. For security reasons, y'all are not allowed to be armed in any way with, like, say, deadly force.
Correct.
Correct, okay. Like, I think, like mace or pepper spray, maybe, something like that. I think it's about the
No,
not even at that
not
at all.
even that, no.
So you can't even carry that Glock. You got that Glock sign hanging in here. You can't carry a Glock on you.
Special circumstances,
Oh, I see.
but no, you can't.
That's kind of what I figured.
So that's not our job, right?
Sure,
our
sure.
job is
Yes,
to
we did.
save lives,
Sure.
and, you know, treat people and bring them to the hospital and that kind of
But
stuff.
I'm more thinking the mindset of like
Jig man,
maybe what
take one.
medical supplies and or medicine you might have on in the EMS that maybe someone like a junkie might try to rob from the ambulance.
We have a lot. We have
Sure.
a lot. You know, we carry Schedule II narcotics.
Mhm.
And we carry fentanyl and Versed and all kinds
Right.
of stuff.
And I not to make an overreaction to just one incident because this is not something that you hear of all the time happening, or that probably happens very often. I wonder if there would ever be a time in the
still
future
lost.
that maybe there would be some sort of training for one EMS person to carry or to have some
Getting
sort
lost.
To
of
subdue somebody like
yes,
that.
because I would the way things have been going over the last like 10 years with like violent crime and like drugs and abuse of drugs and junkies looking for their next fix that
Sure.
they would start maybe attacking or
Sure.
going after
Sure.
EMS because they know you're not armed.
Right.
I wonder if that would ever be a
That's a great it's a great thing you said that. I mean, I kind of thought of the same thing. Hopefully, the model
That's
kind of goes towards that.
mhm.
Pick
But
them up
unfortunately, as of right now, we don't have anything.
The
Right.
lady have got one. I dropped
to
out when
stop
I got home.
anything like that. And look, this is not the first, theft of an ambulance. Like it happens all the time in the city, at least once a year.
Okay.
But this is the first time that people have been in the back,
Right.
That's
and
crazy.
somebody, carjacked
Mhm.
the ambulance, and
and I
that's scary. It's like
Sure.
it's kind of like a home invasion, Like everybody gets a
And
little
I-
bit
and
more
I-
frazzled with
Right.
a home invasion than a regular burglary.
So was the lady an Ozanam Inn resident?
I don't know. I don't know too much about it, other than what was said in the news. But it kind of, when I heard the story, it bothered me.
Mhm.
It made me think of what you said, and hopefully, we come as a whole to come to some kind of idea to prevent that in the future.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be an alarmist or an overreactionist to a situation,
No.
and I can understand and there might be some logic with like having an object or weapon with deadly force in a situation where there's drugs and things like that involved could make a situation worse.
Sure.
But you also want to protect the people that are
Save.
there to protect and serve and to help save lives. what's the level of protection for them,
Right.
and it can't be a case where like you have like a police officer or some sort of sheriff's officer with every EMS. That's not possible. But maybe some sort of training on an advanced level for an EMS worker that one of the 2 or 3 people in the ambulance is certified on maybe some level of training.
You kind of said, the whole pepper spray thing. That's a great idea.
I think at the very least that would be a reasonable.
That is
So I
reasonable.
was thinking about like a taser. Like that could at
Or
least
a taser.
incapacitate
Yeah.
somebody. So
Taser.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we carry bulletproof vests. But,
Mhm.
I mean, what is that going to do with a crazy person driving an ambulance?
Right. Especially if they're on some level of drugs where they're not feeling any sort of use of force, like a taser. Like you see people that are on these drugs that you hit them with a taser, police hit them with a taser, and it does nothing to them, and they have to keep escalating the voltage level or the strength level to some of these weapons, and it does nothing to them. Like, who's to say?
We can sedate somebody.
Mhm.
Right? We can inject you with something that's going to put you out
Right.
in a couple minutes.
Sure, but
but
you walk into a situation where they are out. You're out armed
Yeah.
by this person.
Correct.
And they have all the means to stop you from doing
Correct.
to subduing them.
correct.
And you're literally a knife to a gunfight of sorts. Basically, you have nothing in a gunfight, or whatever the case may be. You get the idea of what I'm trying to say. I wonder if that would ever get brought up in light of the situation, because again, like you said, this person went on, like say, a 20-minute joyride. Lord knows what they could have done.
Oh yeah.
How much more damage,
They
how
could
much
have hurt a lot
real
of
damage they could have done to property and other humans and citizens
Absolutely.
while they were out doing this. You know.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that was it. I mean, it's not a traditional grinds my gears, but it's something that upsetted me and just
It definitely falls in the realm of like it's a shame that is a thing that has happened. Like of
Absolutely.
all things to happen, stealing an EMS, an ambulance, for whatever reason, should never come up or be a thing that happens. But I feel that it could be a more prevalent thing because they know that you carry certain drugs in these vehicles.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Anybody else have a grinds my gears?
I mean, I have one that's, so I'm trying to order Christmas gifts for people, right? And I usually do it from my business account. Travis and I have our own business, and that's how I usually spend money because I don't want to buy stuff for my wife on a joint credit card. Because she'll get the statement, she'll see it, she'll probably instantly know what it is. So I'm trying to order stuff from our business card. Well, as of the past 2 things I tried to order, I get a notification saying your credit card's not verified. So we were unable to process your order. So I'm assuming something's wrong with my debit card. So I called Capital One, and this is going to be a complete fucking knock on Capital One. So if you're a Capital One fan,
Capital One, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
so I call and I'm like, yeah, it keeps telling me that my business card is I keep getting this message saying it's unable to your credit card's not verified, so we're unable to process your orders. I've done that the past 2 orders. I've tried to order something. That's the message I got. So he's like, oh, it sounds like you need a new credit card. Do you want me to go ahead and send you a new credit card? So I'm like, yeah, sure.
Did you speak with an American?
Oh boy. I think you already know the answer to
Did you
this
speak
question.
to a real person?
I spoke to a real person,
Okay.
yes, but I think Mike already knows the answer to his question. He's just trying to
Bad teammate
debate.
Mike strikes again.
Trying to throw debate out
Bad
there.
teammate.
Did you hear dogs barking in the background of your representative?
Was it Mike?
I do like how,
Was it Mike and was it Lonnie?
in this day and age, so many people work from home, even the representatives, and it's like, I would like to talk professionally and not hear random noise in the background. Like that frog.
That was a frog in the background.
Like that frog. We moved inside to just fart up the room.
Go ahead and turn that fan on there, and that AC on there.
So, so I get my new car really quick. It's in 2 days. But I instantly start ordering stuff, I ordered the highly suspect tickets on the card. I paid for my Whole Foods grocery bill with that card. But I go check my statement. I have the Capital One app linked to my business account, and when I click on it, I can see what I spent money on and how much is getting deducted from my account. So I order these 2 things. They're both over $100, and neither one of them appear on my statement. So I'm like, what the fuck? saying, why neither one of these appearing on here? It's like, so my mind is telling me, well, maybe it's just taking a few days to get in there. You know, like it's a new card. It might need to just process a bit. I don't know. But then then I look at my highly suspect email from Ticketmaster today, and the tickets are no longer in there. It says something different. No, don't worry, guys. They're ordered. But that caused me to get concerned because I'm like, well, why are my tickets not here? Is this card not fucking working? What is the deal? So I call a lady again, and after about fucking 25 minutes of like back, first off, I had to wait like 15 minutes just for a pickup, just to get a real person. Like I had to wait.
Did
15 minutes.
Representative.
Carry on, Doc. Carry on. Doc, carry on.
Did this person
Doc, carry on.
double as a 7-Eleven attendant?
Not redacting that.
Thank you for calling Capital One.
Not redacting that.
How may I help you?
So after about 15 minutes of waiting and about 25 minutes of back and forth, I find out that this fucking representative that sent me the new card didn't send it for my business. She sent it for my fucking personal credit card that's connected to my wife's. So my wife pulls up her phone and she's like, oh shit, she sent us one for our personal account. So it's deducting money from our personal account. So, I mean, I think I finally have the issue resolved, but it just pisses me off that I basically told the woman the account number and whatnot, and she still sent it to my personal account. So it just shows you
The incompetence.
I mean, that's
The
a
incompetence
that's a
and the
big
type of
deal. You say to use
type
one
of
account or
people.
one card, and we'll just use this other one. Why not? You know,
And it's not a difficult process to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
to
seem that
take.
way, would
Yeah.
it?
it's like 16 numbers. How hard is it to put a different one in?
How far do you think this person lives from us?
It's probably quite a distance, Mike. No, what would you say?
I'd say the same thing. It's just incompetence and.
That's not what I was asking.
No, I
The
didn't.
Capital One, I'm very, very upset with you. I mean, this is poor customer service.
You know
Just
why?
saying.
I can't tell you why, but that's the reason.
Is that getting redacted?
Hang yourself.
So Capital One, if you're listening,
Fix it.
we're not pleased.
I
Fix the
can't
problem.
take credit for this quote, but this comedian, the rare time that I felt like I was pissing myself laughing and I couldn't control it, when he was a bit about that, and he's booking a flight, and he's like, no, I didn't say fa-da-da-da, I said Fort Lauderdale. And I lost it when he did that, with that tone and everything.
To be fair, Fort Lauderdale might as well be a foreign country.
Well, I mean, it is the. Well, I'm not
But he
saying-
was doing the
I'm not
voice and
saying-
everything.
It's like
I
one of the
can't-
buttholes of Florida.
I can't. Well, I mean, it is the. Well, I'm not saying it.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
It's not hate.
The
It's just-
hotbed of something.
It's not hate. It's just the capital of the world, the capital of the United States for
Not to
certain
try to
population.
justify
Certain
anything
population.
here. Not to try to justify, but
Blue
we've
hairs.
all had these encounters. Nope. Every single one of us has had these encounters.
What you mean by encounters, bro? PC
Encounters
principle.
with people that really shouldn't be answering the phone.
Bad customer service.
Just
Yes,
bad customer
absolutely.
service, absolutely.
100% agree.
And it's all because the company doesn't want to spend the money
Yep.
to hire people, local people that might get your situation a little bit easier, a little bit better.
There's also just a general
They cause
lack
weird
of
dreams.
care in the customer service aspect. Like
Well, that's
they're just like a lot of people are just there for paychecks, and that goes for a lot of jobs and a lot of professions. People are just there. Like go to a retail store. You have kids who are in college. They don't give a shit about some of your problems or our problems. They're just there to work and collect their paycheck and go about their fucking life. And some parts of me, I've been in retail my entire life, minus a decade-long stretch where I took a different job. But other than that, I started in retail. I'm back in retail of
That's me.
sorts. And yeah, you see it just, a lot of people just don't give a shit about your problems. They think their problems are the only ones that are important. So they just do whatever they can to get you on and off the phone or out of their store as fast as they can so they can get on about whatever the fuck they're doing. And the customer service in all sectors has declined because of that.
That's true. I know in this group, y'all are not a fan of fast food, places. But I remember when I was a kid.
We're
Hold
not.
on, slow down that Turbo.
When I was a kid, I remember they screwed up your order. They would give you here's a French fry,
Mhm.
here's a Coke on us. That doesn't happen anymore.
I will only say slight disagreement because I've had situations like this kind of arise, and I've gotten a credit maybe for like McDonald's because they messed up my drink order or I didn't get something, and like that. It's few and far between, yes, especially compared to how it used to be. But
It used to be you waited in line too long, and here you go, sir. Here's an apple pie.
yeah,
Now they can make you wait in the parking lot on the side.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
It's like
that's what
detention.
grinds my gears when
That's
when a drive-through person, when you get to the window and they go, "Oh, can you pull up?" Because like they haven't even cooked the food yet.
And a lot of that is because they had that counter at the window where if they have a certain amount of time they want you to pull up, get your food, and get out. And if it goes over, like that's part of the reason they used to ask you that. Yeah, because it like dings their reliability or service rating for internally if they don't get you in and out of the lane. So they ask you to pull up, not partially because they don't want that bad mark on their record.
Well, right.
Well, there's a reason you're getting a bad mark on your record because whatever I ordered or whatever is not ready in a somewhat timely fashion. And I get it. Maybe you don't have if you go to Popeyes and you say you want
The blackened chicken.
or hey, we don't have a fresh batch of white meat ready to go or dark meat, whatever the case may be. It's going to be at 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, understandable. I will gladly wait a few minutes for that hot and fresh ready version of whatever I ordered. But a lot of times there's some lethargy to the situation.
And I think too, it's not just the local stores.
No, it's national.
It's all the way from
It's
the
national.
top. Because if they were really concerned with it, they wouldn't make it as hard to call corporate and like complain about it. Like you gotta deal with. What Todd kind of mentioned, you got to talk to 10 different people that don't even speak your language half the time.
I mean, I can say
to even say, hey, I got my shit fucked up.
Right.
I ate at a Wendy's in Pennsylvania on one of those trips, and it was like one of the best meals of the trip. Actually going in there and sitting there and ordering, like I haven't had Wendy's on a tray in God knows how long. It's usually drive-through and like lucky if the thing's open. And half the time you order like 3 things, and they act like you're stupid when you go up there and you don't immediately start ordering because it's like I want to make sure you're listening first. And they say something, oh, go ahead. And then I order. I say like 3 things, and it's like they still go. The first thing they go, oh, those are 10-piece. I'm like, yes, and I had 2 other things I ordered too. Let me repeat those for you. It's like Jesus Christ, how hard is it to listen?
So, quick mini grinds my gear. I absolutely despise Chick-fil-A's line when you go through it, and it's usually super crowded because everybody loves Chick-fil-A. And they have 3 or 4 people taking your order.
The iPads.
On the which is great. The queue, the efficiency behind it all is fantastic. You don't even get to the fucking screen.
No, you don't even
the
order on the
items
window
are, and
anymore.
You're expected to know.
Right.
Which most of the time you do. You're like, I'm going there for a specific item, but like, maybe you want to try something new. And like, no, fuck you. You don't even get to look at it.
Yeah,
But Russell,
They come up with the
the
little
big butt.
iPad.
How many times have you gotten your order fucked up at Chick-fil-A?
Honestly, just as many as other places.
Oh, come on now. I was going to say
I
0.
don't
See,
Not me personally.
I was going to speak about Chick-fil-A for a second, talking about customer service. Chick-fil-A, for me, in my experience, has been one of the few places that if I have an order that is incorrect or messed up,
they fix it.
They are very good about making it right. And as far as customer service, it almost feels like they're too happy and too chipper and too energetic about working there. It's like, is this like just fake enthusiasm about helping me and serving me? Is this real, or is like, do you all just, or do they foster an environment that they
pleasure.
care? I don't care whatever it is, fake or not. I appreciate it because if there is an issue, they rectify it, and they have gone, at least in my experiences, above and beyond to take care of the situation. You can say whatever you want about them as a company. Same thing that goes for Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's not nearly as happy-go-lucky as like the Chick-fil-A employees pretend to be or are really, but they are very consistent about getting my order right. And if there's something wrong with it, they've been good about fixing it. So I'll give a shout out to a local and a national.
Yeah, both Chick-fil-A and Cane's. I've heard that teenagers that work there during school, it like looks good on a resume and stuff.
could
that
see
they
that.
actually work there. That's, you know, like I wouldn't mind my child working there one day. Those two, not the other fast food
I don't
places.
think they put up with too much shit. So like,
Right,
if you
well-
stayed there. Like people get fired from those places.
They actually care who they hire. They were just,
Yeah, it seems like, and that's kind of where it starts. It starts from the bottom. If you care about your employees will generally want to do a better job for you and for them. So that trickles down to the customer service is usually better.
It's, the
And
people
it
they
makes
hire
sense.
are all like young kids, college, high school kids that know they're not going to be doing this the rest of their lives.
Sure. And
Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's order people that just like hate working, hate life, hate everything about, hate your face when you drive up. You know,
and honestly, there's probably a correlation to
Face isn't that ugly. Sean.
the
well, they hate everybody that drives up.
like
they hate that they're there.
the salary and the pay. The pay is probably better. Some of the, like Chick-fil-A
Oh, yeah.
and the Cane's. So there is a bit more
It's gotta
encouragement
be.
to actually work and work hard and do well, because maybe there's a lot of promotion opportunities, things like that. You just generally see the care for from the employees better at those places, and there probably is some relation to like how much the pay scale is.
Like, I have to go to Wendy's a lot because my child loves their nuggets only. She likes like McDonald's fries, but likes Wendy's nuggets. You know, picky, typical 10-year-old. And even when they make us pull up and wait for nuggets, like thinking, oh, and even like they'll say, oh, drop you a new batch or something like that. A 10-piece nugget, there might still be a spicy one in there, and it's like, and my child will hear scream from the other room because she can't stand the spicy ones. They're like, I got a, it's like a root, it's a thing now. It's like, I got a spicy one, and I was like, you can tell they're like an orange look. They look different than the regular nuggets. It's like, how fucking hard is it to put 10 regular nuggets?
All I gotta
But that's
say,
lagniappe though.
all I gotta say is
Not for a 10-year-old.
Oh, that's fair.
from now on, the McDonald's soft serve machine
Is always broken.
will be fixed from now on.
What, you're gonna fix it?
No,
We'll see. I know what he's hinting at.
Yeah.
So, wait.
Sean, did you have something you wanted to add about your camping trip here? I mean, I know it may not be a year grinder, but I don't know if you.
Oh no, yeah, because that even led on.
skeeters. They had a lot of skeeters.
No.
I have a grind like
No.
this.
Well,
Mosquitoes. Chill the fuck out. It's November.
Uh-huh.
Leave me the fuck alone.
I got that big bastard right there. I got one over here. And the first night, Friday night, I felt like I was drenched in bug spray. But I feel like I've thought about it enough. I can keep names out of it to keep it short and sweet. But I wanted to. It's not from the camping trip actually. I mean, it's very vaguely related, but because it's like similar people, same people, whatever, this and that. But anyway, so we get back from the camping trip, whatever, and I'm watching the Saints game, you know, and second quarter, whatever, like 2:00 or whatever, and then my girlfriend messages and asks, you know, what time is your daughter's performance Saturday? She's singing at church for chorale, whatever. There's like some Veterans Day thing they're doing at this place, and she says because
There's a lot of ums here.
her friend, I'm trying to like, you know,
Trying to word it
I'm
correctly.
keeping it very generic.
You know.
One of the friends, one of the girls that she goes out with, that was actually on the camping trip, wanted to have the girls over for dinner, and I was like on Saturday night, like saying like she would go after my daughter's performance, whatever, and I was like at her house, and she goes, oh, her boyfriend wants to cook for them. I was like, okay, so, but me and the two husbands of the other two girls are not invited, but homeboy is going to cook for 4 women. His girlfriend and 3 other women who were married and a girlfriend of another guy. It was like, and we're not invited? And it was like,
That would rhyme my gears.
Is it
Like-
gonna be a Magic Mike party? I mean,
and it's just like, okay, could like this dude not look like, so like what kind of flex is that? This dude's going to cook for 4 women.
Steal your girl?
So what, me and the 2 husbands get to hang out and like,
What does this guy look like? I mean, because that makes a big difference.
Does he look like?
Does he look like Cristiano Ronaldo, or does he look more like
This bus.
Dwayne Sancho?
and no, and it's the way this dude's been. It's very reminiscent of a recent, you know, a person that we bring up a lot on this, and you know, a certain ghost we talk about in the same way that it's like, you know how us like the reaction of like when another guy hears that, if it's like of another dude, whether he's married, whatever it is, and it's like he's like, like, oh, you're gonna wow our wives and girlfriends with something because you're like, by making blueberry margaritas, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Was he shirtless with an apron?
Right. Well, or he might be, and I'm talking about that homeboy
Is
right
he
there.
involved in a mudslide?
No.
I'm talking about him.
Bad shots.
Yeah.
Remind y'all that I brought her to your party
Yes,
back
yep.
in the day,
Aubrey
Yeah,
Hall.
that guy rubs me the wrong way.
and I had a chance,
You rub me the wrong way, fella.
I don't really know.
I see
Now
something.
that I know who
I see
Sean's
something before I like to
talking
rub
Okay.
the wrong way.
So
Right.
so here's
Well, wait. Let me finish telling you. So,
You're not wrong for though. Wrong people.
and the best part is we just got back from this trip, right? And there's a lot of cooking, grilling, whatever. It's like, Saturday night we do tacos, we do shrimp, we do chicken, we do ground meat, whatever, all this stuff on the Blackstone. And I was helping like 4 other dads. We're all like surrounding the thing, flipping stuff, putting taco seasoning, doing all kinds of crap. This dude the whole time was like nowhere to be found near the grill, on any of the meals we did. He's over there, and it's like the whole time I'm wondering, it's like he's over there hanging around the other ladies because all the dads are over there cooking, and he's the only one not over there. It's like, where the fuck is he? And then it's like when dinner finally comes, I see him show up over there with, he was like walking up with all the other like moms and stuff, and it's like, oh, and then he wants to,
Mr. Steal your girl.
right, and then she's telling me, my girlfriend's telling me, it's like, oh, friend wanted, the girlfriend wanted to do this for so long, like, oh, because he loves to cook and whatever. And it's like, so it's all this combination of like, okay, she wants to show him off, he wants to show off, like what kind of, as we say nowadays, what kind of flex is this, and then it's like, okay, so me and her have a conversation, and and it's like, that's all I can immediately think of. It's very reminiscent of a past Asheville friend,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
Well, he was in Asheville.
Asheville or Asheville?
He passed on the ass.
and
Where
things,
where the
wasted.
mudslides were.
Wasted it.
things got, we talked about our own situation, and it's comforting that I know in the beginning of our relationship she definitely was more oblivious to these kind of things. You remember like when I told you that the past friend we're talking about, how like when I was like, she told me that she went like dress shopping with him and like saw nothing weird with that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get you're technically single at the time, that we were not like really together at the moment, but this dude's married and y'all go dress shopping. Like this dude actually like helped you pick out a dress to go to the like extravaganza. It's like, that seems a little odd, because put any other male or female that that's married or with a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Well, knowing this dude, was he really into like stuff that most men were into? I mean,
Well,
Patrick,
that's,
would you say he was into stuff that most men
this
were into?
is, well wait, let me finish saying, is that so shit. What I was gonna say is so no, I was saying, at least from my standpoint, that one thing is that she at least understood like my immediate things. I was like, you don't find that odd? And she's like, yeah, I know, whatever, but she's been wanting to do this for us for so long, making it about the friend, has really been talking up her man, and he loves to cook and he wants to do this and that. And then she says, oh, we're actually all paying. And it's like, okay, there's the kicker, because what's funny about this? It's another situation where wife makes way more money. Well, in this case, girlfriend. She works at like Children's Hospital, something like that. She lives over in like Chateau. But this dude, I don't even know what he even does at this point. He works at a post office. He works random jobs. So
Is he a handyman?
Is he a mail carrier?
I think he was.
Does he deliver?
But he likes to talk about his military days a lot, and like basically if like. But he's definitely not a sports guy.
This guy sounds like a joke.
He's another. It's very very. He's the one. Remember the previous showed, previous showed and current showed. You remember at the time that they went hunting together, and it was like they were bonding at one
I
point.
believe I saw this Chode macking on current Chode's wife at Alon Skate Center.
Yes. Well, if anything, it's like, and I think about it, it's like, yeah, this dude's a little awkward, because like say to the camping trip yesterday, he brought like this giant telescope, and it was cool and all. Like he would put his phone on it and got it to like look at Saturn and all this, and everybody was like checking it out and all, wow, whatever. And it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but it's like, but then the second like me and 2 other dads start talking about Bama and Texas A&M losing, and he's just like, he wasn't even close to us. Like he wouldn't even have anything contributed to that conversation.
Mr.
What
Chip.
those guys don't like sports.
But I'm just saying is that in the general,
We're turning you around.
I'm just saying in the general, like say like all of us were sitting around the campfire, he would have something awkward to say or something to feel like he's contributing to the conversation. You know, like little like kind of socially awkward left out, so to speak. But you know,
Mr. Chode, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
but anyway,
So I'm gonna chime in where Todd, when Todd said current chode macking on past chode's wife at
A lot of chodes.
your child's birthday party.
yes,
that would to me be something that you could bring up to your girlfriend and say like, hey, this is what Todd Travis witnessed.
and y'all probably didn't know about with this. We went when I say what is it? How many of us? 6 of us? 5 of us? Because it was the same group. No, it was 4 girls. It was my girlfriend, this girl, and the other 2 wives. The 2 husbands were at my birthday party, but they also don't like to do a lot of things like that. We went to that Art for Art's Sake stroll on Magazine.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 husbands didn't come. Me and the guy we're talking about did. And the whole time I'm there with me, him, 4 women, it's like I always have to watch like how close is he to the other ones. I'm always kind of got that eye out, you know what I mean? Like how uncomfortably close is he to the other, you know? And it makes you wonder about the other 2 chicks. It's like, their husbands are around sometimes, they're not other times. It's like it seems like they like to get away from their husbands, whatever. But it's a weird dynamic. But it's just very reminiscent of somebody we used to know.
Yeah.
And if anything, talking about it, I don't hesitate to talk about that stuff. It's comforting to know that she understands that kind of stuff. Like when I say stuff, it's like she realizes like, oh, it has a weird look. And she said, well, we're all chipping in. Like the 4 women that are going to this meal, well, I guess the one that lives there, it's her house, but the other 3 are actually paying something towards this meal. It's not like one dude is taking, like going on a four-person date and taking 4 women out to eat or something, Yeah. But
That's kind of shitty.
But it was like when you hear that, it's like,
Still sounds sketchy overall.
yeah. So it's when you put it on paper, it's like, okay, so my girlfriend's gonna come see my daughter perform next Saturday, and then she's gonna leave to go to a dinner at some chick's house where her man is cooking dinner for the 4 women. Like, okay.
I appreciate Russell saying this, but or asking this when I threw Heather's party. He asked if there was anything he could chip in for it, and I said, I basically said like, no, this is my responsibility. But to be able to invite people over for dinner and say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook for y'all, but y'all have to pay me. Like to me, that's pretty shitty.
I mean, however that was worked, but then also on top of that, you invite 4 women over, but you don't invite their husbands or boyfriends over.
It's already been established that this guy is a freak like that, and it's. And look, I'm not going to be, shy to say when we hang out with you and was he at your party?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Well,
He's another one who when he's there and he's around anybody's wife, you always got to kind of keep an eye on him just based upon the limited interaction I've had with him.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm scared that I'm going to lose my wife to him by any stretch, but at the same time, it's just like the guy's a creep and I don't like his actions, so I know exactly who you're talking about.
It's
What's this guy's name?
Go figure.
But it's funny. It's like I've gotten, because my own relationship has lasted long enough, and it's been whatever, and it's like, that whole thing. Because then people could point fingers. Well, you need to be more secure with yourself and all that kind of crap and stuff. And it's like, okay, I am, but it's like you still don't want some dude like that being a little too close to me.
Sean, there's another bro. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
No, the way I explain it is it's not that I don't trust you, I don't trust him.
Right.
That's the thing that the way I look at it.
And he's very good at like throwing out random things with like someone says something and it's like he'll jet in something just to be part of the conversation, and it's like and it's usually something to get a rise out of like the women in the group. It's like it's kind of like the time at Todd's house when like Big Steve had nothing related to any of us, but he's sitting inside talking to all the women. It's like, what are you doing? Like go outside.
Just to steal your girl.
He did try to catch me on a couple of situations talking about Crown Royal.
Right.
Just know,
Very
if we ever need to go handle the situation, we ride at midnight. Anytime you're ready.
But it's it's just one of those things. If it's like
Always
when
ready for a click clack.
you think about that in any other situation, it's like just like if your wife like came home and told you of like a like a friend from work or something is having us over, but it's only the girls and their husband's going to cook for us.
No, I think that's a pretty douche move by this guy on a couple of parts. One, that he's charging the girls to go, and two, that guys aren't invited.
I mean, I don't want to put it all on him anyway, like the couple maybe, because it sounds like
But
what it was.
who's saying the guys isn't invited? Is it him or is it the girl?
That's what.
Because that could be.
I don't know.
It could be the girls saying
because
that
it's
the guys aren't
the
invited.
girl's house, and I'm not surprised because I think the dude still lives with like some kind of family member or something. He lives over off of Trudeau, close to where the bar is.
This guy sounds like the biggest joke.
Oh, and the best part on the Magazine Street thing, it was like we were just like sitting around. It was at that dog, like sitting around or something. And it's still ironic because y'all know the history, and a lot of people even at school don't know that me and her had a little run-in or whatever. And it was like talking about random things, and I forget, she even said something about like, it's funny the hand the universe deals you, and she kind of like looked over at him. It was kind of like, oh, because you know you could have easily been with me right now, but you're like, oh, that's what you ended up with, like you know. But
Well, look, I think you dodged yourself another bullet.
Yeah.
But that's that kind of stuff. The parent system, the parent thing like that is very weird that I've observed. There's ones that have been broken up, brought no people around, then that person disappears, and all of a sudden wife's back. Or, you know, you got person A and B, A and B are together, C and D are together, and all of a sudden they do this. And it's like, oh wait, this person's with that person, and B is with D now. It's like, oh, okay.
And that's an excellent grinds my gears, Sean. I think we've all felt insecurities before, and when it comes to people like that, it's sickening sometimes that kind of stuff still happens.
This guy, it's safe to say that this guy would never be part of the Wasted Wagons podcast.
Never, ever.
You know, it's funny when we feel like this. It sounds like the flip. You know, when the women get offended, like when women flip out historically, stereotypically about, oh, it's like a strip club or something. It's like, oh, we're just looking, we're not doing anything, and it's like, but they still can't get over it or something. And it's like in this situation, the shit.
It's like newsflash: every guy still watches porn, no matter the situation. Will never change.
Driveway.
No idea what the fuck that was.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like
You on
when
call?
That was like a unit outside.
it's weird how you always have those situations in life where the other gender is like, oh, it's no big deal, and the other gender is all pissed off and annoyed about it, and they don't, that lovely dynamic that we always go through.
Well, moving on from the gear grinders, Mike, you said you had a PSA you wanted to tell everybody, and it seems to be the last thing on the topic. So
Last thing on the
close
topic.
out.
Was it the cop in your driveway?
Yeah.
Was that your golf cart making that noise?
No.
That's what it sounded
I don't know
like
what
to
the
me.
fuck that was.
It
That's
sounds like
definitely a
close.
unit
It's
outside.
a unit backing
I
up
think
in your
there's
driveway.
I think there's a ghost in this garage.
There's a man unit outside honking the horn, saying, "Look at me, baby."
I got a report from Soggy Doggy at this household.
Some big old soggy doggy.
Mike, does this PSA have to do with Tuesday?
It does. Oh,
I'm gonna
Hey!
be the special guest for the day.
Oh shit!
hey.
We were wondering what made that noise out there.
Come on, man, keep the dog out.
That would explain it.
So, part
Wait,
of
I got
the PSA
I got something to add. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't loud enough. Sorry.
You have something else?
So Mike's
No,
brother-in-law just
let's
made a
try.
siren outside, so that's just to signify Mike's public service announcement. So go
Public
ahead, Mike.
service announcement.
Damn, somebody just ripped an ass doing it.
It was an SBD. I'm sorry. I was trying to make it louder.
I'm glad the fans pointed in that direction.
I can't.
Public service announcement. This has to do with Tuesday. Okay.
Last Tuesday.
I'm not going to be political here. We chose not to be political from day one.
What's Tuesday?
But
And it really does not matter.
does Mike live
What's
up to
his
that,
name?
Joe Patrick?
It really does not matter.
Does
what
Mike live
kind
up to that?
What kind of political biases y'all have? Okay. The most important thing is that every single one of you, every single person that listens to this podcast, needs to go out and vote.
And on that civic duty PSA, we're going to take a shot and close this episode out.
At the moment we are experiencing some technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience during this issue.
I'm not going to list the brand, but it is a strawberry whiskey. If it does not taste good, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't care. It's just what we had around.
Is it because you have to promote it? Why you won't
Nope.
say the name?
It did have a pretty cool bottle.
Yeah,
I mean, it
well,
smells good.
It
smells good.
It is made with
might
Louisiana
be good.
Ponchatoula strawberries. That's
Ooh.
all I'm gonna say.
That should be good then.
Here is
I can't guarantee it's good.
to Patrick.
Probably not. Not my problem.
I like how you chilled it too.
Not terrible.
No,
It
that
was
is
down pretty easy.
that is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good.
That was good. That was good.
That's good.
That was
All
good.
right, and Wagon Time.